good evening, everyone. I guess the question that everyone really asks is, what are the ingredients for a good pitch? And most commonly what people do is go to Google, download all these different templates, and they all pretty much say the same thing in what you need. But what it doesn't really reflect is you. It doesn't really reflect your company. What you have to bear in mind with every presentation is you have 30 seconds to make an introduction to yourself. And if you've lost that 30 seconds, people start to drift. Your presentations must stand out. And one of the problems that people have is that they try to fill their screens up with information. And you'll see from my presentation that it's just images, because images really tell a story on its own. You need to somehow create an emotional connection between you talking to the image that's being shown. So make sure your presentations really do stand out, because it emphasizes to the audience that you've taken time to put something together that's meaningful and engaging. And at the same time, you need to stand out. So I always say to people as well, never change the way you are to try and suit an audience. Okay, you've got to be you. You've got to be this individual, this person presenting that's sincere with integrity. You have to also show off and showcase your company. Really elevate this to the point where you're pitching your business, but it's not just about you, it's about what you bring to the table, and it's also to demonstrate the capabilities of your company. One of the best ways of creating a presentation or a pitch is not PowerPoint, by the way. It's Post-it notes. Use Post-it notes to build your presentation on a wall, because Post-it notes can be moved around. You can look at your presentation and now it will make sense. And then once you've got that detail, then you can come back into your presentation platform to start building the presentation. Also make sure you showcase your achievements. And that's really, really important, because it can also set you apart from the competition. And a critical factor is making sure you know the company you're going to go in, you know the country you're going to go in. These are so critical, because you need to be seen to be knowledgeable, because that then sort of leads into what I say here, which is know who's playing in your back garden, who's also in my playground. We call it the competitive landscape. Another key area is your audience. You really need to know all about the company that you're presenting to. If you're a startup and you're presenting to investors, you need to know who your investor audience is. You really need to prepare well. Most importantly, first impressions, knowing about the company that you're going into, knowing about their market that they're in, again, knowing about the playground I talked about. So your job, by understanding that opportunity, is then being able to demonstrate the opportunity, how you see it, and you begin to build this story around, what your company can do and the products and the services you can provide. Have in mind as well that sometimes, if in the startup world, we get too hooked up, for example, on it's the problem. It may not be a problem. It may just be an opportunity. There may be a gap in the market, and what you have fits in that. The key also is making sure you get across your uniqueness. For me, it's I also call it the magic sauce scenario. You sort of need to share with them your uniqueness or what makes you so special. You really need to be thinking long term. You need to be thinking, how can I retain this customer? What can I keep bringing to the table that will make them come back? And how can I keep this recurring revenue? I throw this slide in because I think we also live in a world today where everyone's very conscious about being socially responsible. Again, if you want to stand out for the crowd, what is the innovation? What's the corporate social innovation that you bring to the table? In anything that you do, there's always the why, the what, and the how, because it's so important that you understand, what is my company doing? How do we do things? Why do we do things, etc. And that will allow you to build a presentation and create a story around what works for you when you're presenting. Again, whether you're a startup and you're pitching for investment, what you want to do is buy time to be able to really get the business who you're pitching to fall in love with you as to why you're so good, why your product or service will be so valuable, etc. So you create this really engaging, emotional connection with your audience. You can talk about the ask being, whether you're a startup asking for the monetary amount, but as a business, it could be, what is it going to cost them to implement that product or service? the last slide really, what you've got to try and do is pick people up from their seats and take them around on a journey. All right, take them on this fantastic journey, a story that you're telling them that makes sense, they can comprehend to, and you bring them back and you sit them down. And for them, in some ways, to open their eyes and to say, wow, I really get it. It's all about the passion, the way you present, the way you talk, emphasize the strengths and capabilities of your company is absolutely paramount.